I read a recent report where millennials, the majority of them, have less than $1,000 in their bank accounts. So how do you change the mind frame here?
Well, let's talk about the problem first. We've got a whole new generation of people graduating from colleges and all kinds of different degrees, or even just high school, not understanding how they're going to set up their financial future for retirement. Because if you think about what you have to do in your early 20s, you've got to put aside 10% of your salary, minimum, every week, and invest it in the market over the long run. Let's say it makes 6 or 7%. So if you start now and you're in your early 20s with your first job, by the time you're 65, and the average salary in America is about $52,000, so if you keep 10% of that and you invest it every month, you'll have about $1.2 million when you retire, which is enough to live off in America. That's the problem.
Okay.
Now, people say, well, I only have $1,000 in my bank account. I only make or have $50 free a week or $20 a week. And Apple, I want to buy a share of Apple. It's $150. I don't have $150 to do that with. That's when it hit me. Why not provide fractional share ownership? In other words, Beanstox is an app. You download it on your phone. Everybody's familiar with their phones, either Android or Apple. And you can put $5 in, $20, $10, whatever you've got, and buy fractional shares of your favorite stocks. And why that's important is you start to learn about investing. Now, it has 1,000 different stocks on it. It's got 200 or 100 different ETFs. You can build an international portfolio. You can actually start to understand how to invest. And you know, we just brought it out a few weeks ago. There's over 5,000 people have started to work with it. And I talk to them about it. They say the most fascinating thing is I buy a stock, or I buy a basket of stocks, or I buy an ETF. I can't stop looking at my portfolio all day long, watching it go up and down. And that's the whole point of it. Because they're so used to using their phone, it becomes the new interactive.
And is it a younger audience? Are you seeing
yes,
who's downloading it?
So the demographic's really interesting. What really blew me away is women are far more hip to this problem than men. So we've got a lot of women in their early 20s saying, yeah, I care about investing, and I'm going to start putting aside money from my paycheck. That's number one. Number two is I'm amazed about how interested people are in buying stocks of companies they know and trust. The idea of brand. So Apple's huge, Google's huge, right. Amazon's huge. But they're starting to understand the value of diversification, because when you have one stock, you get a lot of volatility based on that stock price going up and down. But when you have 3 or 5, all of a sudden you start to see, wow, the price isn't changing as much when the market goes up and down. And the concept of diversification and investing starts to permeate the thinking. What I'm learning is our demographics sort of 21 to 38 right now, more than half women, which blows me away. I'm so proud of that, because they actually are smarter about investing than men, who aren't thinking about their futures. But the key is, once you start, it's really hard to stop, because you're saying, gee, this is working for me. I'm actually investing. I can see it work. Beanstox, I think, is going to continue to be a very interesting platform for me to promote, because I want people to have financial literacy.
You know, it's amazing. A lot of my friends are millennials, and they've never cared about investing, but all of a sudden they are crazy about it with Bitcoin, with the cryptocurrencies.
Right.
Hasn't that changed the landscape
Bitcoin to me is not a currency, it's an asset. People debate it all the time, right. And I don't know if Bitcoin's the one that survives or some of the other ones happen. The point is, that is interesting, the fact that they would understand I can buy an asset, I can watch its value change, and I can somehow take value and park it in some place where I don't spend it, where I invest it for the future. Because the great thing about, you know, I'm not sure Bitcoins is a great long-term investment because I don't know what's going to happen to it, but I do know a company that makes free cash flow that pays you a dividend every quarter. To me, that is a good idea.
I know you love your dividend.
I love my dividends, because my mother used to say to me, never spend the principal, only the interest. So I can invest in an Apple or Microsoft and get paid every 3 months, and I can buy a pair of shoes with that.